Who's calling me? Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Just had a little call from John Lewis. They're delivering a new washing machine dishwasher tonight. Absolutely fantastic because the current one is not in operation. And also I'm fueling up after today's after today's matrix, and I've got some lovely tortellini here just finishing up. Absolutely delicious, getting some pesto in there as well. Absolutely wonderful. And like I said in yesterday's episode, I'm going to be talking about what happened today instead of actually showing you guys. And the reasons behind that are, there's a few of them. One, I talked about in yesterday's episode about recovery and focusing on your focuses. So I didn't want to be running around saying, oh, I need to get the camera, I need to get a shot, I need to do this, when the Matrix is quite fast paced. Two, I didn't want to be running around and annoying people with trying to talk to them here or there, trying to like delay because I'm putting a camera on the boat and whatnot. And three, I didn't want the coaches to think, well, why is he filming this? He's clearly not taking it seriously, which I think that last point is very important. And so what was today? Today was a pairs matrix, or part of a pairs matrix, and what that is, I've mentioned that in a previous vlog. It is where you're in a pair, you race down a course, switch pairs partners, race down a course, switch pair partners, race down a course, etc, etc, until you've done all the runs that the coaches want you to do, and then you get a result, an overall time versus everyone essentially, and then you get a ranking. But today we've done one part of the matrix and we're going to do another part on Friday, so we'll not find out the actual results until later on in the week. How do I think the actual matrix went? Well, I think it went well for myself, and one of the key things I believe that is consistency. So you can, in a pairs matrix, go off really hard and start flying off the first 500, and then you can sort of blow the doors off, and then you slow down and you're not doing too well. That can sort of affect what you do in the next run. It can affect your confidence. It can affect the overall time. And so for me, I think I was quite consistent throughout all the runs today. So, which meant that, yes, I may not have had the peak speed at stages, whether that was at the finish, the middle, or the sprint, but the overall average time, I don't know, I could be very, very slow. We'll find out later in the week. But I think just going off of what everyone else said, what everyone else sort of, what their times were, or what their stroke coach said, their speedometer said they were going, compared to what I saw or what the stroke man said they saw, it puts me in sort of a good stead, at least sort of like in the middle of the pack kind of thing, just because of the comparison. But that's one of the big things about a pairs matrix. You do a run, you come in, you're going to switch your pairs partner, and you go and talk to some guys, and they say they've went out like world record pace and amazing, and then you talk to someone else and they're going really slow and they've had a bad run, so you don't really know how they've done really, or yourself has done compared to them. So that's one of the things that I sort of reserve my judgment overall for how I've done, because I won't see the results till later, and just talking to everyone, you can only get a small part of how they've actually done rather than a completely accurate portrayal of how they've done. So each run went quite well. I actually tried some different setups in the boat, which made quite a big difference, which meant I could really yam on it, really yam on it. Finished all of the runs really gassed, which you want to do. Like I said, you want to you don't want to go all out on one and then not have any gas for the other ones, but at the same time you don't want to just let off the gas and then have loads for another run. It is a really fine balance. You sort of have to work out what you have to do. And what I find really helps is the fuel for in the middle of a matrix. So what I do is, since there's not much time in between each race down the course, is fuel up with pretty, where are they? They're over there somewhere, but very simple sugars. Just so you can eat them really quickly, and then it gives you a boost of energy. You can use that, and then you go and do another piece. And then you come back from that piece, more simple sugars, and it's simple-ish sugars. There's a lot of fats in one of them actually. I have caramel shortbread actually. So there's some fat in there, there's a lot of sugar in there, and that kind of, for me anyway, that's me personally, that kind of helps me get fueled throughout the day. And there's also some honey as well. That's like if I'm really like, oh, I need some energy here, just for the post race fatigue. It's really good to get some simple sugars in, just so your body can quickly replenish some stores, and then later on you can sort of build the stores with complex sugars and carbs, etc, etc. So honey, caramel shortbread for me, and obviously bananas. Different vitamins and minerals and all there in the bananas as well, and it's very simple, very easy for you to digest. And that's one of the things as well. So we had a couple of runs, and then we had lunch, and I was a bit nervous because I had a tuna sandwich, but I needed food. I was hungry, and the simple sugars weren't cutting it, so I wanted more. So I had a pretty sizable tuna sandwich, and that's what I kind of want to. It's like, it's you do your thing, and you kind of had to like learn and adjust. So I wouldn't say go out and get some caramel shortbread, go out get honey, and go have a tuna sandwich after a few runs. You have to do your kind of testing, and then you know what works best for you. I know some of the guys also have some caramel shortbread, but other guys have, they barely eat anything at all. Some of the guys really eat a lot. So it just depends on how you're feeling. And for me, I get a bit nauseous after a flat out effort, like you guys have seen in previous vlogs, throwing up after the 2Ks, etc. So I don't want to be full, and then just throw that up, because that just isn't good. And then for the next run, it's not going to bode well. But I think overall today has been productive, I would say. At the very least, it was some really awesome training. Got to train with different people, and just like do multiple flat out efforts. And what more could you ask for? The opportunities to yam were real. And that will be it for today's episode. So quite a short one today, just a little talking head. I'm going to fuel up, because remember, food is fuel, and we've got testing later on this week, and so a big part of today is recovering for that. I don't want to just forget about the recovery and then not have any energy for the testing, the rest of the testing coming up. And as always, Yam Squad, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and have a good one.